Same place. There are endless tropical swamps, lush tall pests. Extremely high humidity and oxygen levels in the air create ideal conditions for life to flourish. But it wasn't the life form we know today. Carboniferous age is a strange, otherworldly age, dominated by giant insects. Ubiquitous swamp tropical forest absorbs carbon dioxide through photosynthesis and released a large amount of oxygen into the atmosphere. This allowed oxygen levels to reach a record high of 35%, more than 1.5 times the level of human safety. Such high oxygen levels became this primitive, a powerful source of energy for creatures in the jungle world, for just beginning to evolve, but not yet well adapted to the early days of life on land, vertebrate, and various invertebrates. It was a wonderful time. They can find amazing sizes. The giant centipede. It's about the size of a small car. Dragonflies soar in the air like eagles, and scorpions the size of pit bulls. The era that ruled this swampy jungle. Probing agent. It was a time when giant insects ruled the earth. Surviving in this period is not easy. If you are in the jungle of probing agents, then he will become your worst nightmare. The first thing you might feel is dizziness. Confused. This is due to high oxygen levels. The high content of even a tiny spark can ignite damp wood. If you look down, you might see your feet sink slightly into the swamp. Due to the high humidity and swamps, the environment is a typical characteristic of probing agents. This is a very common situation, but a truly spectacular sight. It's actually above your head. If you look up, you see birds flying overhead. Their wings hummed loudly. Vibrations are visibly felt in the air. These are giant prehistoric butterflies, ancient red butterfly. Exhibition of a typical individual of this species, average up to 40 cm. The largest specimens can reach up to 55 centimeters, almost 10 times the size of modern flying insects. Ancient red disc. It is one of the most beneficial organisms of Carboniferous agents. Their name means ancient reticulated wings, refers to its complex red lines. It looks like fine mesh, except for 2 pairs of brightly patterned wings. These insects also have little bumps near the head. It may play a stabilizing role during flight. They have them on their heads for sucking plant sap. Braised. This is an early example of adapting to this type of eating pattern. In addition to being huge, there's nothing scary about the ancient red disc. They are harmless herbivores, only interested in nutrient-rich plant sap. And one of the terrestrial predators, completely different. He has no idea what's on its path, is a deadly threat. You can spot him, because he is the largest human being that has ever lived on Earth. Scorpions are called waist scorpions. He's up to 70 centimeters long. For comparison, the largest modern scorpion, the emperor scorpion, it's barely 20 centimeters long. These are massive bodies, covered with a hard exoskeleton. It can protect it from other predators. On his powerful pincers, with sharp claws, enables it to capture and trap prey. Meanwhile, his curved tail with poisonous stings for captured prey means death sentence. Under the pressure of a lack of prey, a phaeacion is an active predator, usually preys on land and water. Smaller amphibians discover animals and reptiles. Its adaptability to the deep water environment makes it possible to successful predators in ancient habitats. And if it's not difficult for you, notice this giant bulldog. Scorpions can easily detect you. He has 2 pairs of eyes. 2 pairs are used for spatial perception. Another pair of side eyes may be used to detect light. In addition, he may still have sensory receptors on his body. Further enhances his navigation and the ability to locate prey. If you encounter this near 70 centimeters long scorpion, he wasn't afraid of spiders. After encountering it, you may have developed a new fear. But now let's go back to the sky of stone exploration. Right there. Except for harmless prehistoric ones like the ancient red butterfly. Outside, we also encounter intentional predators. This predator will look familiar, because his descendants still exist today. It's just that these dragonflies are incredibly large, 10 times larger than their modern counterparts. Hesitant dragonfly. It is one of the largest flying insects of all time. Looking at him, he doesn't feel much different from ordinary dragonflies. It's just huge. He has a wingspan of 65 to 70 centimeters, body length up to 40 cm. Its size is comparable to modern lassie. 300 million years ago, these giant insects is a fearsome aerial hunter. They've been occupying Carboniferous, the title of the top predator in the sky. Until the end of the 2nd season, the first gliding reptiles appeared. Indeed, their big eyes. It offers a nearly 360-degree field of view, so they can spot their prey from top to bottom. And they have spikes. Strong legs for catching prey. These are highly offensive, sexual and dangerous predation. The characteristics of the person. It is believed that their prey often includes the aforementioned giant butterfly. Their adaptability to different environments, enabling it to adopt a dual hunting strategy. It's like they're perched on a watchtower. Wait for the rabbit, waiting to ambush potential prey. It can also actively chase prey in the air. They're fast, agile predators, good at making flexible flight movements in the air, able to avoid obstacles while chasing a target. Although giant dragonflies do not have a powerful pair in the air, hand, but surviving on land poses many challenges, even for the powerful waist scorpion, especially when facing another behemoth. In terrestrial invertebrates, it can be called a giant's robbery. Its appearance and size are enough to scare anyone. It's the biggest millipede that's ever lived. It's an insect, the largest terrestrial invertebrate in history. Smaller individuals of this genus can reach up to 30 centimeters in length, and the largest specimens are even more amazing. 2.6 meters long, weighs up to 50 kilograms. In comparison, the longest living millipede today, Amazon giant centipede. The body length can only reach 33 centimeters. Their body is made up of 30 segments. Each section is up to 50 centimeters wide. Each section has a pair of legs, like many stone animals. Not fierce centipede in Carboniferous age, periodically shed the exoskeleton when the original protective casing, unable to accommodate its growth, will grow a new stronger shell. It is believed that the fierce centipede has extremely durable protective properties. Exoskeletons can withstand predator attacks. However, it is worth noting that its conflicts with other animals are extremely rare, because in the forest of stone exploration, not so many predators, even a giant scorpion, maybe yes, a millipede several times its size, is afraid. Currently, the heads and mouths of these giant millipedes have not yet been fossil fragments of gas. Therefore, the lithology of larger individuals remains uncertain. It is speculated that young individuals may be strictly vegetarian. Adults may occasionally eat carrion, even prey on small animals, but charcoal. But it doesn't stop there. In the swamp, another predator lurks, waiting for small reptiles and amphibians. The arrival of animals. He looks like a big, outrageous spider, although he's not actually a real spider, but a distant relative sea scorpion, known as the giant pig queen. His similarities to the Spider-Man. First let paleontologists have discovered its fossils for the first time. Relic time. There was a misunderstanding after prompting them to name it the giant pig, also a big spider. However, it took some time for people to realize. The giant pig queen is a sizable scorpion. Its body length can reach 55 centimeters. Its unique body structure make it possible to use a method called sweeping method of eating. He will use the secondary knitting of the Certificate of Merit. Aquatic life in swamps and rivers. Scratching in the soft mud of the environment. Capture and use small invertebrates such as insects and smaller pseudoids. Occasionally prey on land, such as reptiles and amphibians. But terrestrial animals may be faster than their giant counterparts. Therefore, it is not easy to become its prey. Look, this sea scorpion hides in caves or rivers, waiting for prey that gets too close. Enter its deadly lair. As for active hunting, his ancestors, giant sea scorpion, lived on Earth 400 million years ago. Much more powerful. This species is not only more flexible, bigger than a giant extreme animal. Its length is almost the height of an average person, up to 1.6 meters. Although it may seem very large, but with another representative of giant temperate animals, Western style is still inferior to toothfish. Maximum dilution to the specimen, length up to 1.8 to 2 meters. Its broad and compact body makes they may be of the same kind, the heaviest record holder. This megafauna's diet. The formula is not too large for its smaller counterparts. The difference is still sweeper eating. It's just that their food, possibly including larger reptiles and amphibians, animals are not. And that's not the limit for giant amputees. The largest representative of this type of a giant and a servant who lived 400 million years ago. Body size can reach 2.3 to 2.6 meters, making it the largest cut ever discovered. One of the limbs. This megafauna is used for defense, and its main hunting tool is its claws. The claws can be as long as 45 centimeters, powerful enough to seize and easily crush prey. However, such a huge body doesn't mean the weight is the same. Due to its simple anatomical structure, although the length is comparable to a car, but it may not weigh more than 100 kilograms. Not carbonaceous. All living things are affected by giant genes, ringing in the humid prehistoric jungle. Giant dragonflies soar in the sky. Giant centipedes lurking in the water. There are other creatures. There is a creature called Sanyu. They're so small that you can hardly spot them underfoot. They can be regarded as historical. The earliest prototype of a spider. Smaller individuals of this species are only a few millimeters and the largest individuals are only 5 centimeters. These are the oldest terrestrial organisms known to science. Plant-shaped steel animal. Appeared 400 million years ago, long before stone exploration. They are completely adapted to breathing air, no longer dependent on water. It's not that different. The body is divided into head, chest and abdomen covered. Their heads and breasts are protected by a back clip, hence the nickname armed spider. These were some of the smaller predators of the time, like hunting soft invertebrates such as worms. They may not be like some modern spiders, hunting with venom. They catch their prey with their legs and hold it in place, then eat. They may also be like some long and triangular classes, similar mites, eating plants like insects. Stone exploration is a paradise for evolutionary experiments, and often, dangerous creatures dominate the sky and land. However, perhaps this period, one of the most fascinating evolutionary experiments, it's underwater, made some of the most well-armed creatures of their time. Jianwei is a species that lives in about 400 million years ago, the ancient insect species, and they populated the shallow suburbs, feeding on organic waste. This creature is only a few millimeters long. It can only be seen in detail under a microscope. However, they also have an even more memorable nickname, Sword Bug of Kings, and there's a good reason for that. From the outside, they're covered in overlapping calcium carbonate crystal plates of heavily armed discrimination. These crystals, the body plate extends along their entire body. It provides extremely strong protection. And underneath that layer of crystals is a lightweight exoskeleton, like a knight, wearing chainmail under the armor. In addition, the king's arrow worm can curl up into a ball, protected unarmed. Therefore, vulnerable body parts, when he curled up, the sharp edges of its crystalline armor, it bulges out, so that few creatures can harm him. It's almost impossible to penetrate its crystalline shell. Forcibly destroy their armor, not a good choice. Purification gives these worms the perfect defense mechanism. But it also came at a significant cost in the end. Although this sturdy guarantee protect them from predators, threatening but heavy armor, it limits their mobility. Make the search. It becomes difficult to eat or move to new habitats. Therefore, the swordworm of kings, there were no significant descendants. Their eventual extinction and the story of the Devons' late mass extinction events coincide. Amphibians began to diversify, and reptiles evolved into modern lizards. Very similar morphology. You have a spine. They can live and move on land. These amphibians are also very large. Some species are predatory. Similar to modern crocodiles, have sharp teeth. It's about 6 meters long. Like modern crocodiles and alligators, some of them evolved thicker scales. This solves the problem of the body being away from water for too long. Wet water. And here's the thing. Amphibian evolved for the first time to produce on land amino acid egg. This breakthrough completely changed everything. These animals can now live away from water. Carboniferous agent, gradually giving way to the Permian that began about 300 million years ago. This is only 50 million years after the appearance of dinosaurs. During this period, all continents aggregate into one giant land plate, called Pangaea. The first large herbivores and carnivores evolved during this period. Some of them look like dinosaurs, but actually, closer to mammals and reptiles. A curious species is the bifid habitat. Similar to velvet, the average body length is about 1 meter, but its head is shaped like a boomerang. Another emerging reptile is the one-foot dragon. The body length can reach 5 meters. There is a big sail on the back, may be used to regulate body temperature. In pyramids, the mammalian group is gradually dominating. The largest of these creatures belong to the class Porodonts. They are a class of giant bear-like animals. Teeth are specialized for different functions. These animals could be herbivorous. It could be carnivorous. Body sizes range from less than a kilogram to more than a ton. One of these creatures is called the cynodon. Their name means canine teeth. These animals exhibit certain social behaviors. There is fossil evidence that they hunted in packs. In the ocean, fish with true bones began to evolve. Sharks and shaker fish are also very prosperous. There are also sponges and corals. Insects on land have evolved adaptive tongues. Can be pierced and sucked. But about 252 million years ago, the second disk is remembered by a catastrophic event. Stop abruptly. Triggered a mass extinction. In 2001, scientists came up with an amazing solution. Horrifying discovery. A giant coma. A star or asteroid may have caused this extinction event. The asteroid is estimated to be between 6 and 12 kilometers in size. Between 1,000,000 times larger than an earthquake. Scientists discovered in carbon compounds high molecule. The high proportion proves that these gases can only come from space. In addition, there is evidence that present-day Siberia and China experienced a massive volcanic eruption millions of years ago. Volcanic ash clouds blocked the sun. More than 3 million cubic kilometers of magma gushed out of the surface. The entire covered with a layer of magma more than 10 meters thick. The combination of asteroid impact and volcanic activity. The fatal blow of a double-barreled shotgun. This series of events is known as the mass extinction. 90% of marine life and 70% of land life are wiped out. This time the Dimer triple agent extinction event marks the beginning of the Mesozoic era. It was the time of the dinosaurs. In the early Triassic period, Pangaea was still a huge landmass, mostly vast deserts. The climate is hot and dry. It's surrounded by a huge ocean. Melting in midnight and late Triassic city began to evolve. When it comes to dinosaurs, people can easily think of things like giant creatures like Tyrannosaurus rex. However, new research shows that dinosaur and its pterosaur relatives originated from very small ancestors. The evidence for this theory comes from Madagascar. The newly discovered one is called the Quingon-nuncle, reptile fossil meaning bug hunter. This creature lived about 237 million years ago. It's only 10 centimeters high. It's from the ornithopod dinosaur family. The root of a tree, one of the first small animals discovered, is an important discovery. Small Asian events where he lived. It was one of the earliest ornithopod dinosaurs. Strategy in the early Triassic period. The study of his teeth revealed that this little creature is not an insect. This eliminates the need to compete with relatives for meat. In addition, studies of this small dinosaur relative have revealed later in the real dinosaur and the feathers found on pterosaurs and other skins. Attachments are very probably originally to protect this small dinosaur ancestor, protection from the late climate extremes of triplex. That's when the first dinosaurs began to evolve. Triplex marks reptiles, mainly the main content class, dominant lizard, and the rise of the four mammals and reptiles, for unknown reasons. The principal content classes evolutionarily, more advantages, and triple stack and medium to late triple stack evolved into the first true dinosaurs, such as Esophagosaurus and Hasaurus. Dinosaurs were divided into two main branches, and Ornithischidae and Ornithischidae. Storin, located at the root of the ornithal dinosaur family tree. It's only 91 centimeters long. It weighs about 11 kilograms. It has long legs. This allows it to run quickly. It has sharp claws on its forelimbs, helps capture prey. Hatasaurus is evolutionarily better than Stylosaurus, more advanced because it has joints in the lower jaw. It has a big skull. Its core, full of the sharp teeth of a carnivore. Its body length is between 3 to 6 meters. The front only has 5 fingers. Pusdonsto. Oxosaurus is another early true dinosaur. It's about 2 meters long, has a large skull as long as his femur. It has 13 to 14 sharp teeth in its upper and lower jaws. His forelimbs are short. It has 5 fingers. Its long hind legs allow it to run quickly. Stokesaurus was a predator. Weighs about 30 kilograms, despite its small size. But he deals with bigger prey. Probably not difficult. They were 225 million years ago. A classic example of the rapid evolution of carnivorous dinosaurs. The first herbivorous dinosaurs appeared in the fossil record. Pizzasaurus is a long barley. Dinosaurs weighing 2 to 9 kilograms. He has tightly packed teeth. It forms a continuous edge for grinding plants. Late triple. There are at least 15 different dinosaurs. So during the triplex, the Earth's climate has changed from hot to hot. The dryness changed to a wetter subtropical climate. Extinct plant. A forest of cycads and true-leaf trees start covering the Earth. The air is warm and humid. It's tropical. At the beginning of this period, supercontinent, the fragmentation of Pangaea continues and accelerates. The northern half of Lauraea is divided into North America and Europe, the southern half of the Gowan continent. In the middle, the triplex starts to split. Antarctica, Madagascar, India and Australia, from Africa and the western half of South America broke away. New oceans flood the spaces in between. Huge mountains rise from the seafloor. Push the sea level even higher. Over the mountains. It's this water created a humid subtropical climate. The desert is turning green. Brown aluminum tree like crispy iron and true leaf tree. For example, Nanyang mountain and pine trees are abundant. The ocean is teeming with a diverse and abundant life. And at the top of the ocean food chain is the ocean reptile, with a long neck and a certificate. The flag of the serpent whale dragon is among them. Giant marine crocodiles. Sharkfish. Ichthyosaurus, seal-like kilong. Boulder snails and moss. Abundant in ancient oceans. Coral reefs are expanding rapidly in warmer waters. Plankton are multiplying rapidly. It may be on the way to turning parts of the ocean red. The earliest known valley. Birds take to the sky in late Triassic. Probably from an early fan-running dinosaur. Evolved. The full bird had to be tripled with the night. The wings that have been soaring in the sky since then. Dragons compete for airspace. At the same time, such as ichan, and insects like beetles are abundant. Many early mammals on Earth. At the feet of dinosaurs, running around. It is at this time dinosaurs began to leave their marks on a massive scale. Small four-legged herbivorous dinosaur gradually evolved into a multitude of behemoths. A herbivorous western dinosaur named Rubicosaurus, up to 16 meters. It's about 26 meters long. It can weigh up to 25 tons. Another herbivorous western called Diplodocus, giant dinosaur, 27 meters long. It weighs between 30 and 50 tons. The sheer size of these dinosaur behemoths, it may make the same. The one that lives onto powerful legs, walking large carnivorous dinosaurs. Stay away. This terrifying carnivorous dinosaur was Allosaurus. Its body length is between 7 to 12 meters, weighs nearly 2 tons. There are 16 sharp teeth in the upper and lower jaws. Like many carnivorous dinosaurs of the Triassic period, Allosaurus keeps growing, losing and replacing his 3 to 4 inch long teeth. This dinosaur was fast. Model display. The running speed of Allosaurus, up to 34 kilometers per hour. Stone evidence shows that Allosaurus preyed on western dinosaurs, and direct-looking dinosaurs will put its foot on the skeleton of Allosaurus, whole out. But then something happened. Equally frightening new predators. Tyrannosaurus rex can reach a body length of 12.5 meters. Weight can reach 8 to 10 tons. However, some people now believe that his weight may only be above half the estimated value. But Tyrannosaurus rex is not in the carnivorous dinosaur category alone. In fact, it is related to another. Two behemoths with sharp teeth. Next up is the Leviathan. Body structure is similar. Weighs 8 to 9 tons. There's also a species called Sabodontosaurus from North Africa. Tyrannosaurus rex is a fierce and a disgusting predator. If I were to put it more bluntly, it can even be said to be unhygienic. Electrocardiogram experts believe that the flesh residue often lodged in his tightly packed teeth. This caused him to take a bite, infect the prey, ultimately resulting in fatal wounds to prey. Of course, this process will take at least a few days or a few weeks, and another Tyrannosaurus rex will probably sit back and enjoy it. Scientists have examined the skull of a Tyrannosaurus rex. Make sure his bite force is per square inch between 1,500 and 5,000 pounds. The bite of meat can reach 225 kilograms. But Tyrannosaurus rex is like Allosaurus. There are also problems with hunting prey. He and some direct-looking dinosaurs in medium armor, living in the same region at the same time. Triceratops is only next to Tyrannosaurus rex, the most iconic dinosaur. One of the names of the three-horned dragon thinks, a face with 3 legs. All Triceratops had 3-legged skulls. 2 huge feet are located above the eye sockets. A smaller foot is above the nose. Weighs about 6.5 to 13 tons. The largest Triceratops was 9 years long from nose to tail. The top of their shoulders is about 3 meters above the ground. Triceratops' teeth are arranged in fissures, each individual tooth vertically stacked into groups of 3 to 5 tooth cracks. These fissures have a total of 36 to 40 slits full of teeth. This means that single Triceratops, it can use up to 800 teeth. It has a narrow sink and a powerful nucleus, capable of crushing tough plants. Ankylosaurus is another of the most famous dinosaurs. He was the largest of the ankylosaurs. It was also the last of its kind. It is thought that he survived until the end of the white crocodile season. Ankylosaurus' body is covered in bone scales, with converging teeth for corners sticking out of the head. There's a tail droop at the end of the tail. It's a defense against predators. Given that Ankylosaurus and Allosaurus, Tyrannosaurus rex, and other carnivorous dinosaurs, tail drop would be useful. Sometime in the Middle Age period, ornithopod dinosaurs evolved into the well-known Hadrosaurus. They were big. Looks like a duck. Animals that feed on earth-loving plants. The mouth and nose have a hard wisdom for tearing plants. Giant. These dinosaurs lived in groups, and it's able to walk on 2 legs. By the end of the white goose season, ornithopod dinosaurs got bigger. You might think that Wanlong and Diplodocus are already very big, but by the end of the white goose season, another dinosaur appeared. It could be the first time on Earth. The largest land animal, Argentinosaurus. It could be 30 to 40 meters long. It weighs between 50 and 100 tons. It's a Titanosaurus. It was the dominant population during the like its early ornithopod relatives. It's a direct eater. There was also a strange new dinosaur. They lived before all the dinosaurs went extinct. The first 20 million years. It's called a Spinosaurus, or a bone-headed dinosaur. Their skulls look weird. Feet growing around the mouth, nose and skull muscles. These horns may have been used to repel the last large predator. Maybe even used to, showing dominance among its kind. Of course, so far, over 700 different dinosaurs have been discovered, but in a video, I don't have time to introduce them all. During this period, there may be snow and ice in the polar regions. Temperatures as low as -10 degrees Celsius. Winter lasts 3 months of darkness. Dinosaurs lived in this polar region. In 2014, scientists discovered a miniature, the head of a Tyrannosaurus rex, bone parts and upper and lower jaws. This dinosaur is called Nanotyrannus. It is about 6 meters long. Scientists believe that many dinosaurs were covered with feathers to protect them from the elements. And so is this little Tyrannosaurus rex relative. In fact, now think. All species of Tyrannosaurus rex have feathers. Other dinosaurs such as horned dinosaurs, duck-billed dinosaurs, and other small ones, feathered predator, like a parrot-like oviraptor, and a small herbivorous dinosaur. Lelosaurus also lives in this polar region. But their time is coming to an end. Although people are talking about the dramatic process of dinosaur extinction, but since they are on Earth for 165 million years, dinosaurs may have been the most successful vertebrates, one in fact. Some places on Earth today, animals are still descendants of dinosaurs. Modern birds actually have long feathers, descendants of hairy dinosaurs. And you may be surprised to learn, crocodiles are the closest living relatives of birds. They share a common ancestor. These 2 groups are the main cages, the only survivor. We all know what happened to the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are extinct, but their prosperity and dominance, running through the long river of Earth history, undoubtedly, They're one of the most successful organisms on Earth.